Hi, this is Emily Moore, and this is Module 12, EDL 852, and this is the case study of who should create the school's vision. To summarize this case study, this is the Lightview Community School District. It is made up of two rural townships. It's primarily a farm community, and the district has two schools currently, a K-6 and then a 7-12. But because of the population increase that's happening, the district assessed three different options and they decided to um, start making a middle school. The decision to do this was very split in the community. And then with that decision, I was hired, Susan Potter, as the principal of the middle school. I've previously been an assistant principal. I'm not from the same district. So, after being hired, I was to create an advisory committee made up of 4 teachers, 4 parents, and then myself, and then asked to develop a vision statement. The committee met and decided to um, elect a chair of the committee. At first, they wanted it to be me, but I decided that it would be better to share responsibility, and so the English and Social Studies teacher, Helen Burke, took the role of the chair of the committee. Helen Burke and I met to kind of make a plan and an agenda, and I let her know that we had to make a vision statement, and she thought that it was best that I made that as the leader and then bring it to the committee so that they could make any changes, but I would be the primary maker of that vision. Um, at the next meeting, Helen shared that with the committee, and they all voted that the principal would be expected to lead and write that statement. So, with that being said, as the principal, trying to maneuver and decide what to do next is um, at hand. So, in the looking at the legal and ethical issues, there are no legal issues. There's no breach of contract. No one has been harmed. I think there is some ethical issues in the sense of um, it shouldn't be a sole duty of the principal, needing stakeholder input, and then sharing opinions. And thinking that sharing opinions would cause arguments because that's what was said at the meeting. Um, and then the students and community could be affected by the team not working together. So to synthesize what's happening, this school district has created a new middle school where a principal has been hired and created an advisory team who believes that the principal should create the vision herself without collaboration of the team. So to look at some of the facts, the people involved in this situation is Susan Potter, who is myself, the principal. Joe Rawlings is the superintendent, and he had a lot to do with the um, deciding to create a new school and then hiring Susan Potter. Um, the selection committee, which hired me, the advisory committee, which is the 4 teachers, the 4 parents, and myself, Helen Burke, who is the chair of the committee, and she's also an English and social studies teacher. And then Dan Kelby also was a name that was mentioned, and he is part of the committee, and he is a PE teacher. The place involved is the Lightview Community School District. It's a farm community between 2 rural towns. 60% live on farms. The school is made up of 3 buildings now, and it's all on one plot of land, and the nearest city is 10 miles. So the program, the school has 1,200 students and is continually increasing. A K-6 building and a 7-12 building, but eventually we'll have the 6-8 middle school. So to review and prioritize the information, This situation could be damaging if the vision is not well created. There could be a divide between that team and the principal. All stakeholders may not be involved and could damage relationships, and also just not those stakeholders won't be in the know and have a say in that vision. And then realizing that stakeholder data is important to get. And then some things that might be important to know that I'm not sure about is what is the vision and mission statement of the district. I think that would be really important to gather to create a school vision. And then how quick is the turnaround on this statement? How long do we have to create it? I think that would also help decide on what the right thing to do is. But with the information that we do have, I think that a decision could be made by myself. So I looked at 3 different options. The first option I had was to just not do anything, to give in to what the committee decided and create the vision like they want and share it with them and revise if needed. I could form a new committee and just get rid of that committee since we're not on the same page. Or I could communicate with that committee and then create a shared vision, but explain to them and talk through it, and then involving those stakeholders, collaborating, and then coming up with a statement. So that first option of doing nothing, some pros would be you don't really have to deal with anything. You don't have to deal with like the broken relationships that could possibly happen. You're still forming a vision, and it could still be changed and edited, and the committee would be happy. Some cons would be it's not a shared vision, and you're not really including your stakeholders. The second option, if you form a new committee, the pros would be that you have new people who could possibly align with you and agree with you. But some cons would be maybe you have the same problems. And then also you are now going to have some broken relationships. And then that third option of just communicating and moving forward with what I think what I think should be a vision of collaboration. You're building relationships and you with your stakeholders, with your students, with your staff. It's going to be positive. You have a shared vision and there is that collaboration. The cons to that would be that committee would not be happy with, going against them and trying to change what they decided. So I think that the best option would be that option 3. I don't think it necessarily is going to be the easiest option, but it really shows the importance of that collaboration. And also, if you needed to talk with the board about that, then that would, and get them involved, then that would be okay too. But it is important to understand the capacity to collaboratively evaluate, develop, and communicate a school mission and vision designed to reflect a core set of values and priorities that include data use, technology, equity, diversity, digital citizenship, and community. And when you look at that, I think that including those stakeholders is huge on that community piece and creating that vision, that shared vision and mission, and then getting that what are those values, what are those priorities of your stakeholders, so that option 3 would be the best, and it's not going to be the easiest, but I think being the principal, it's good to take a stance in that and leading when you need to lead. So when implementing this decision, again, it's important as the leader to take leadership of that team. We have to make new plans and create an agenda as a group. if the chair needs to be changed, because I don't think that it's important to change the committee unless we just cannot figure it out. But I maybe making myself the chair from like maybe we should have from the beginning if that's an option. Maybe doing that. And then together as a group, I think it's important to create those norms that to kind of set the tone for future meetings. And then from there, it's time to create that vision and mission statement, but you have to do it together. I think it's important to send out a survey to all of your stakeholders, and that's your parents and your students and your community, um, the middle or the high school, uh, the board. What do they want from for your students? I do think that another piece of creating that vision would be as that team to create their own personal mission statements. And so when they do that, they can take that mission statement with that data from the stakeholders and create a vision together, and that brings it all together. And then once they've done that, then they're going to revise and they're going to share it with their staff. You want to share it with your stakeholders and then get it out there as that is your vision. If this doesn't work, you've got to go into that plan B. What's going to happen? You've got to take it to that superintendent, maybe even creating a new committee. But the hope would be that going through these steps and just being open and honest and taking leadership, the leadership role where you should, is the most important. So, alrighty, that's all I have. Thank you.